going back to your life on the teams, I know that a lot of people always have questions like, what is it like to be on deployment? Like, what does it feel like? How do you deal with the stress of the day? So, kind of walk me through. Like, I know if you've probably been there for a while, it's probably been like different, like every deployment and different, like every time you're on some kind of mission. But can you like describe to me like what it feels like to be on deployment and like what the experience is kind of like?
Quite honestly, using your flow state as an example, for me it was easier. When you are here in the US and you're worried about, filling the card, doing your bills, turning in paperwork, going to training, making sure your family is taken care of, calling your parents. When you deploy, it's a singular focus and you are laser focused for, 4 to 6 months, 10 months, a year and a half. For me, it was easy, but I caveat that with one thing. It cannot be done in isolation. I have an incredible wife that has spent here in January, it'll be 22 years supporting me. But I knew when I was forward that she had my back and I didn't have to worry about it. Um, and that she knew who and what I was and what it took to make me happy, and she supported it. There's that backside of things that you always have to be grounded to. You know, um, for me, getting out, how would I describe it? When you get out of the military, it's kind of like a leaf falling on a river, and that river is kind of windy. The leaf falls and it starts drifting downriver, but you can see the tree that was the military and you can see it for a while. But eventually that river is going to wind away and the leaf will not see the military. Thus is your family. Thus is your grounding. At least it was for me, as my family was my grounding that was on that leaf with me as we left the military. And they were there while I was in the military, always grounding my base.
Yeah, I think family is always important, even whether you're on the Navy SEALs or wherever you are. I think they are like the source of your sanity, even if we like don't realize it immediately, right? Like the fact that you have that kind of long-term relationship there, I think kind of brings us a sense of sanity as humans. And I see it like a lot of people, at least like younger people like around my age, like a lot of them when they talk about family, like it's something they'll do later on, like maybe they'll work for some time and they'll kind of push it back. And that's a big culture that I've seen in the modern day, like with pushing back of the families. And like I do want to have a family like early on, and I do value that a lot. But it's how would you say like I know you've described it as like a really critical part of your life, but w w
So I'll start by saying that, I spent most of my formative life abroad, Italian father, South American mother. Family values were core to us, having dinner together, doing things together on Sunday. So I had that in me. When I was at Petty, was I thinking about family? No, I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't. When I started the Naval Academy, no. When I went to the SEALs, and I was a junior officer, it was all focused right here, right now. But there comes a point where maturity catches up and you open your eyes to the possibility of more than just what you're doing right there. And that's where family starts to creep in and you realize how much you had that you haven't taken advantage of. And what you need to do moving forward, and that is, reestablishing relationships with sisters, with parents, with cousins, nieces, nephews. And, those are the people that you carry with you forever, but you don't realize that until you're a little farther in life.
If you enjoyed that segment with Tristan Rizzi, then you're gonna love the full 1 hour length podcast that I recorded with him. Hit the link in the description now to see the full 1 hour length podcast.